What's up, y'all? I want to talk about business fundamentals because a lot of y'all out here are running shady ass businesses, meaning you don't have any real structure. You think just because you're collecting a couple of dollars that you're running a real business. And in fact, you're running your business more as a hobby than an actual real business that you can secure 5 and 6 figure contracts for. So that's what I want to get into today. So let me pin this comment real quick so everybody knows what's popping. So let's get into it. So, for many of you, or for those of you who are just now getting to know me, I was in corporate for 15 years, right? And 7 years ago, oh my goodness, y'all, 7 years, April makes that I've been a full-time entrepreneur. And it's been so interesting because I realized that there was so much that I didn't know. There was so much that I didn't know. And I was just a victim of not growing up with a family who were in business, not growing up around entrepreneurs. I was, in fact, the first one in my family to go to college. I was the first one in my family to secure 6 figures. And so that's all I knew, right? I didn't really have access to entrepreneurship or the benefits of entrepreneurship. So when I first started my business, I was winging it out the wazoo, darling, okay? I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And 7 years ago, there wasn't a lot of programming for entrepreneurship like you see today. Like now, literally everywhere you turn, somebody's trying to tell you how to start a business. But back then, that wasn't the case. So a lot of my learnings happened as a result of trial and error. So what I want to break down to you guys today are some core business fundamentals that I had to learn the hard way so that you can avoid a lot of those mistakes and not make the same ones that I did. Because, honey, they were costly, darling. Okay, costly. And I'm going to break down just how much money I lost because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, and I was depending on Google University, I was depending on YouTube University to try and figure it out, wasting time, wasting money, and all the things. So I want to save that headache for you here today, okay? But first I want to see who's here in the audience. So write a number 1 if you're an aspiring entrepreneur. Write a number 1 if you're an aspiring entrepreneur. And write a number 2 if you are an entrepreneur and you're trying to figure out how you can actually scale and bring in consistent revenue. All right. So write a number 1 if you're an aspiring entrepreneur, and write a number 2 if you already have a business, but you want to learn how to scale it up and bring in consistent revenue. While you are doing that, let me take a little sip of this water because your girl's about to break it all the way down. Okay. All right, excellent. I see some ones. So let's get into this business fundamentals. So what exactly do I mean by business fundamentals? So business fundamentals is essentially the foundation of your business. Like when you think about a house, right? A house that is blown away by a tornado or a crazy hurricane, usually it is because they did not have a strong foundation. So it is critical for you to have a strong foundation and real structure around your business so that you are setting yourself up for success and also positioning yourself to secure the big bag, honey. And that's why we in business, right? We in business to secure the big bag, to change lives, change the trajectory of our lives, build legacy, break generational curses, all those things, right? And so this is why the business fundamentals is so significant and so critical. And what a lot of entrepreneurs do is they want to run. They want to run before they learn how to even crawl. They just want to be out here running, right? Before they learn how to crawl, before they learn how to walk, they just want to hit the gun running, right? And so what I want to prepare you to do is to build real structure around your business so that you can not do this as a hobby and this can be your real business, okay? That actually is helping you not only drive income, but also build legacy. So let's get in the first part of business fundamentals that I want to speak to. So what happens is a lot of people will start their business and they choose not to formalize it, meaning they don't become an LLC or they don't become an S Corp, C Corp, whatever it is, and they're collecting money. And maybe what they're sending people is a Cash App request, or they're sending people a Zelle request, a PayPal request, whatever it is, and they are, collecting cash maybe for the services or products that they have, but it's not official tissue, right? Now, what is the benefit of actually making your business official tissue? Somebody write official tissue in the comments because I need to see this in the comments, and also throw some hearts if you're finding this conversation helpful so far. So this is why your business needs to be official tissue. One, because there are incredible tax benefits for you to having an official tissue business. In fact, it's one of the primary reasons why a number of folks start an entity, is to take advantage of those tax benefits. And we're going to get into what those tax benefits are in a couple of minutes, but that is the premier reason why. The second reason why you want to make sure that you're an official tissue business is because you want to be able to collect big money. Not $5 here, not $100 here, not $300 over there. You want to bring in 5 and 6 figures, that type of money consistently, right? You want to do business at a bigger level. And when you are doing business at a bigger level, you need to make sure that your business is set up to accept those type of payments. Because let me tell you something. You wouldn't go and give someone $2,000 if you had to send it via Cash App. Because you're going to think like it's not an official business, right? You're not going to take them seriously, which brings me to the third point. The third reason why you want to make sure that you are official tissue is so that you can build credibility into your business, right? When you officialize your business, you are giving it a level of credibility that it does not have if you do not formalize your business, okay? And remember, my main philosophy and what I teach inside the Dare to Leap Academy is how to secure 5 and 6 figure contracts, right? How to secure the big bag, right? We're not talking about coins, okay? We're not talking about collecting crumbs. We're going after the big cake. So in order for you to go after that type of money, you need to be an official business, all right? So that's point 1. So let's go over the different types of business structures, and I'm going to only address 2 today because these are the 2 that I know well, and I only like to teach what I know well and have experienced myself, okay? So an LLC versus an S Corp. And really the main difference between these 2 is how you are taxed. And I had to learn that the hard way. So let's get into some story time. And if you guys are appreciating this content, throw some hearts so that I know I'm not here talking out into the universe. Throw some hearts so I know you guys are vibing with this content. So when I first started my business, I was in a very lucrative position where within my first year of business, I was able to secure a really big contract. And what I mean by big contract, I mean I was able to secure $175,000 contract, right? That's more than what people make in a year. People don't even make that in a year. And I was able to secure a 5-month contract for $175,000, okay? Now, why does that matter? I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I'm not trying to, gas myself up out here, although that was a pretty big deal, can't lie. But the reason why this is significant to business fundamentals is because when I first started, I told you guys I had no idea what the hell I was doing. So I didn't know the difference between an LLC and an S Corp. So when I first opened my business, I made it an LLC, right? That's what it was. Not knowing that from a tax perspective, I was setting myself up for failure, okay? And here's what I mean. So as an LLC, the way that your money is taxed is at a much higher rate than it would be if it was an S Corp, okay? Because as an S Corp, the way your revenue is measured by the IRS is very different from the way that it is measured via an LLC. And I had to learn that the hard way because when I was able to secure that big contract, when I was able to secure that big contract, I didn't have myself on payroll, right? I didn't really understand what it meant to bring in that type of revenue. and what it meant from a tax perspective, okay? I didn't know that you have to pay taxes at the end of the year as a business unless you set it up differently. And we're talking about at least 40%. I didn't know that, right? I also didn't know that the fact that I didn't have myself on payroll, I was actually doing myself a disservice when I was paying myself out of my business bank account, right? This is all stuff I did not know, but I had to find out the hard way, because when it came time to file my taxes, right? I went to my accountant and I was like, yo, look at this. I made all this money. Like, what's up? And I didn't know what were business write-offs, right? I didn't know what business write-offs were. I didn't know what type of business write-offs I should be thinking about. I didn't have myself on payroll. So that year, and I was also, to the IRS, I was an LLC. So that year, I ended up having to pay the IRS about $30,000. $30,000 of my hard-earned cash I had to give the IRS because I wasn't educated on how I should be using my money in my business and how my business should be structured from a tax perspective, so I wouldn't have to give Uncle Sam so much money at the end of the year. So this is why it's critical for you to understand business fundamentals, because listen, when you go into business, it's fair game. You never know. You can go into business and 2 weeks from then somebody could be like, you know what? I see your value. I want to hire you. Here's $100,000. And if you don't have a way for them to pay you $100,000 because you still collecting money on Cash App, you're probably going to lose that client, right? Because they're not going to take you seriously. And if you do have yourself set up where you're able to receive something like $100,000 and your business is not set up correctly from a tax perspective, you best believe a majority of that money you're going to have to pay back to Uncle Sam. So these are things that I had to learn the hard way. And one of the main reasons why I hone in so much on business fundamentals inside the Dare to Leap Academy is because so many entrepreneurs skip over this step because they're not educated or they're intimidated by it, right? A lot of people are intimidated by the IRS. They're intimidated by taxes. They don't take the time out to really understand the benefits of actually having a formalized business. And as a result, they end up paying for it in cash down the line. So this is what I'm trying to have you avoid, darling. So you don't have to go through that, okay? I'm looking out. So what did I do next after learning that very hard $30,000 lesson? So what I decided to do next was I went to my accountant and I was like, first of all, you need to tell me why this is happening. Right? I need you to educate me as to why this is happening. And right now we're around accounting season. How many of you have actually looked at your return? And asked about what the hell those numbers mean? How many of you? Write a number 1 if you actually look at your return. And write a number 2 if you just signed and you're good to go. You're just like, what's my refund? I'm good. Thank you so much. Write a number 1 if you actually look at your return and ask your accountant questions. And write a number 2 if you just write it and you have no idea what the hell those numbers mean. You're just happy to get a refund. Let me know. Put it in the comments. So this is what happens, right? You're not an accountant. So you don't really understand like what the hell is going on, right? And what numbers really mean. And so what I decided to do after losing that 30K was really like basically sit down with my accountant and do like a masterclass. And I was like, listen, I need you to explain this to me. I don't know what this means. I don't know what this number means. I don't know what this form means. I don't know I don't know what a business write-off is. Like, I need you to tell me what this is. And shout out to my accountant, Joanna, who actually like sat down with me and explained it to me. She put me onto game, right? Because I didn't know what I didn't know. She put me onto game. And so now I was able to understand how I fucked up, right? I was able to understand why I had to pay Uncle Sam that 30 grand and where I made my mistake, right? So my first mistake was not knowing that I could write off certain things in my business. Now, what does writing off like really mean? The way that you are taxed as a business is you are taxed by the amount of revenue that is left over after you deduct your business expenses. That is what they tax you on. So if you are not deducting business expenses and you don't know what type of business expenses you can actually write off, the IRS is going to tax you on the bigger number. So let's go through some of those examples, right? So first I'll say this. So let's say your business brought in $100,000 and you didn't include any business write-offs. The IRS is going to say, oh, you made $100,000. I'm taxing you on $100,000. Now, let's say that same $100,000, you had $70,000 in business expenses. So now, instead of the IRS taxing you on $100,000, they're going to tax you only on making $30,000 because you had $70,000 in business write-offs. You guys following this? Are you following this math? The main takeaway here is you want the IRS to tax you on the lowest amount of revenue possible. That's what you want, right? That's what you want. That's the groove that you in, right? And so let's talk about some of those business expenses that you're able to write off, because a lot of people are not aware of what type of business expenses they can actually write off. So let's get into that. So let's see. What business expenses am I writing off currently? So one, my car, right? My lease. The lease on my car is a business expense, right? The lease on my car is a business expense, and I write that bad boy off. The down payment I put for that car also is a business expense. Why? Because that car is in my business name. Why? Because I use that car to conduct business, right? So that's a business expense. Another business expense is, I put it away. Any business credit cards that I pay a fee for is another business expense that I write off. Another business expense is the actual fee that my accountant charges me to file my taxes. That is also another business expense. Some other examples of business expenses are any technology that you purchase. So let's say any software that you're using. So if you're using any email marketing software, you're using Canva, you're using Outlook.com to create your own email, you're using GoDaddy for your domain name. All of these things are business taxes that you can write off. Business expenses that you can write off. You can also write off things like your laptop, a camera that you purchase because you want to, make your pictures pop and make doper videos, right? The printer that you buy to print stuff out at the office, right? Office space, business expense for you. Anything associated with that office space, the electricity, any water that you buy, any coffee that you're making, pens, your staplers, your notebooks, those are all business expenses, right? Ring lights that I have behind me right now in front of me, are a business expense, right? Cups that you use at the office are a business expense. If you work from home, there is a certain square footage that you are able to write off as a business expense, right? Some other things that you're able to write off, donations that you make through your business is a business expense, right? What else? Those are the majority, kind of like high level. There's so many ways for you to kind of like understand the tax law so that you are able to kind of circumvent having to pay back a large amount to Uncle Sam. And your tax accountant can kind of break it down for you. But at a high level, those are business expenses. Travel if you're paying a fee to attend the conference, if you're traveling to that conference, your flight, your hotel, anything that you are buying while you are at that conference, right? Your food, right? Your meals and entertainment, write off. You're taking a client out for drinks, write off. You're buying a client a gift as a thank you. As long as I think the number is $25, you can write up off of $25, up to $25, right? Any education, any coaching programs that you buy into, such as the Dare to Leap Academy, right? So I can go into a deeper dive of these business fundamentals for you, right? That is a business expense that you're able to write off, right? And so now that I knew this, my second year around, now I was able to make sure that I was spending a certain amount of money that was coming into my business, because I'd rather spend the money on my business than give it to Uncle Sam. Right? Like if I know I have to give 40% of about 40% of what I'm bringing into my business to Uncle Sam, I want to get that percentage down as much as possible. And the way that you are able to get that percentage down is through your payroll, putting yourself on payroll, and all of those other business expenses that I just explained. Write copy in the comments if you guys are picking up what I am putting down. Write copy in the comments. And one of the other things that I learned is, even though my business is still registered as an LLC, I am taxed. Listen to me. I am taxed as an S Corp, right? Because there's different benefits to being taxed as an S Corp, okay? So this is what I want you guys to be thinking about when we're talking about running a real business versus a hobby, is you understanding the significance of business fundamentals and why it's critical for you to structure your business in such a way where you are running something that is real and that you understand all of the benefits that comes with running an official tissue business, so that you can take advantage of all of those benefits, right? All right, so I told you the difference between an LLC and S Corp. I told you the story of losing that 30 grand, which was like, ay Dios mío, you know, it still hurts my soul. It still really hurts my soul. But it was an expensive learning lesson for me. But it was a lesson. And this lesson has actually followed me through my entire entrepreneurship journey. 7 years in the game now. 7 years in the game, always in the green. 7 years in the game. And it taught me that I'd rather pay professionals, people who have done this, people who have the knowledge, people who are doing what I want to do. I'd rather pay them so that I don't have to make costly mistakes like I did with giving 30 grand away to Uncle Sam, right? Because I didn't know what I didn't know. And for a lot of you, you might be considering coaching programs right now where you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to pay that much. That's kind of like expensive. Fuck it. I'm going to try to figure it out on my own. Don't. You are wasting time. You are wasting energy. And you are also wasting money, because that same 5, 10K that you didn't want to put into a coaching program, you're going to pay for later on, because you don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. And it's going to take you longer to find out, because you're going to have to make a whole bunch of mistakes before you find out, right? And so you want to avoid that at all costs. And that was a major lesson that I learned. And since then, every year, minimum, I'm spending at least 30 grand on coaching every single year. Because I want to make the most I can make, and I want to be the most educated. I want to be the most educated, because what I don't know will cost me. It will cost me what I don't know. And as an entrepreneur, you are constantly a student. You're constantly a student, right? It's not, oh, I figured out the game. I figured out the formula. That's it. I don't have to learn no more. I just need to double down on this thing and then take it to the next level. No, that's not how it works. You are constantly a student, okay? Okay, the next thing I want to talk to you about is a little bit more, I would say, sophisticated. A little bit more sophisticated, but I want to share with you because it's a new learning that I had, that I was like, you know what? This is good for the people. This is good information. So there is a threshold. Like, let's say, for example, you're putting on an event as part of your business, right? You're putting on an event and you have different vendors that you are bringing in to this event to help you curate an amazing experience, right? And the vendor is charging you $5,000, right? The vendor is charging you $5,000 and you want to pay them, right? They're $5,000. Here's your $5,000. Thank you very much. Then tax season comes around and your accountant is like, who did this $5,000 go to? Like, what is this for? And you're like, oh, well, I hired this vendor for this conference that I put together because I wanted to create a vibe, right? I wanted this to be an amazing experience. And so they're like, well, did you get a 1099? And you're like, a 1090 ¿qué? A what? You're like, what's a 1099? What is that? So a 1099 is basically what you will have to submit to the IRS as a result of you hiring in this vendor, because anything over $600 that you are paying to someone, they have to claim on their taxes, and you also have to claim it on your taxes, right? So you're actually creating a safety net for you and also for them, right? Because you're running an official tissue business. This isn't no shady business. This is a real business that you are running here, right? So these are things you need to know. So in order for you to pay that vendor the $5,000, you need to 1099 them at the end of the year, which means that you need to ask them for their W-9. And their W-9 is essentially a form that has their EIN number that you get when you formalize your business, their name and their business address, right? And this is so at the end of the year, you can 1099 them, which basically is a form that says, I paid this vendor $5,000. So this isn't a business expense, right? This is a business expense. And in order for the IRS to recognize that as an official business expense, you need to send the vendor a 1099. So unbeknownst to me, this is stuff I did not know, right? Until I actually started putting on events and had to pay people more than $600, right? And if you don't 1099 them and you pay someone else, you might be able to get away with it, right? You can get away with whatever you want to put on your taxes. The problem is if your ass ever gets audited. That's when the drama starts, right? And you need to account for every single dollar that has come into your business and has left your business, right? Which brings me to, so did everybody hear what I'm saying here? Do you understand the significance of being educated on what it really means to run a real sophisticated business and not a hobby, right? It's deeper than the surface level than all these coaches on social media is telling you. There's several levels. There's a level of sophistication that is involved to run a real business, okay? And that is what you want to make sure that you're getting educated on, okay? So that you don't get got at the end of the year by the IRS, and you could take full advantage of all of the benefits that comes with having your own entity. There's a reason why the wealthy has several entities in their trust, right? Under their umbrella. There's a reason for that, right? There's rhyme to the reason, and it is really, ultimately, it comes down to all of the tax advantages, right? It's why so many people, whether you hate him or like him, was supportive of Trump, who were conservative as it relates to money, because he created all of these loopholes and opportunities for business owners to have huge tax incentives, right? That they don't have to end up pay that money to the IRS. They get to keep it. They get to keep that money, right? So say what you want about the man, but he created a lot of opportunity for businesses to have huge tax incentives, right? To keep the money that they were bringing in, okay? So this is why it's important for you to be aware. Be aware of this information and take a deeper dive, right? And become a part of programs If a coaching program that you are interested in is not teaching you business fundamentals and you're just starting and you're a new entrepreneur, or you have been an entrepreneur less than 5 years and you're struggling with scaling, if they are not teaching business fundamentals in their program, do not spend your money on that program. Do not spend your money on that program, because business fundamentals is a critical component to building a business that is viable, that is credible, that is in position to collect revenue on a consistent basis. Okay? So I want to make sure that I reiterate that point to you, because there's a lot of programs being sold every day, all day, every time you turn a corner, right? I want to make sure that you ask questions and make sure that business fundamentals is included, okay? Now, other big part of business fundamentals, I'm teaching y'all. Write at number 1 in the comments if this is like helpful to you, because I'm about to get into business credit, and that's a whole nother beast. But I'm going to do this today, darling, because I just feel like I'm in the mood to teach and I want to give this knowledge. By the way, I have a free training that I put together. I put the website here. You can also click the link in my bio or under this video, wherever it is. Take that free training, because what that free training is going to do, it is going to show you my 3-step formula for you to start and launch a business, especially if you are in corporate looking to make that transition, or if you're in the 9-to-5 grind, or if you are new in business and you are struggling with scaling. That training is going to help you. And then once you watch that training, you have an opportunity to book a magic call with me to see if you're a fit for the Dare to Leap Academy. And inside the Dare to Leap Academy, I talk about business fundamentals. I talk about how to actually scale your business. I teach you how to scale your business, particularly through securing 5- and 6-figure corporate contracts. I teach you how to build your personal brand, how to market your business, how to pitch your business, how to pitch your product and services. We also cover mindset, which is critical. Another key component of any coaching program, right, needs to be mindset. Let me tell you something. More than 2/3 of women in business fail not because of money. They fail because of mindset. Everybody write mindset in the comments. Write mindset in the comments. Mindset. Most critical. Mindset will determine how much money you make in your business. Mindset will determine how successful you'll be in your business. Mindset will determine how consistent you remain in your business. Mindset will determine how far you actually take this thing. It all comes down to mindset, okay? So I want to make sure that you guys are getting that type of training and support in any program that you are considering, all right? So in the Dare to Leap Academy, we start with mindset, and then we go into business fundamentals. And business fundamentals also includes your business plan, right? Like, what is your plan? What is your plan? It also includes what type of business you're actually going to start. A lot of you know you want to go into business, but you're unclear perhaps on what type of business to start. So we cover that. We cover business planning so that you are not working aimlessly and gone with the wind fabulous. You're being very intentional and focused. You welcome, Raquel. Very intentional and focused about every action that you are taking, because we don't got time to waste out here, darling. There's just too much going on. We don't have the time. We don't have the time to waste. Okay? We don't have the time to waste. And that's why you pay for coaching, so that you can accelerate your process, right? So you can get where you are trying to go fast. A through Z, fast, pronto, ASAP. Okay? That's why you pay for coaching. So yeah, we cover mindset, business fundamentals. So your business plan, landing on what type of business you're actually going to scale up, and business credit. That's in business fundamentals. And then we teach you how to market yourself, how to package your stuff, how to sell your stuff, how to build a brand around your business, around yourself as a personal brand, all that jazz. That goes down inside the Dare to Leap Academy. So when you watch the training, you have the opportunity to book a magic call after you watch that training. So if you are a woman in corporate or the 9-to-5 grind who is interested in entrepreneurship, but not really clear on where to start, but you know you don't want to lose your financial security, watch this training and book the magic call. All right. And if you are an entrepreneur who's been in business less than 5 years and you are struggling with scaling, also watch this training and book the magic call. So let's go into business credit, because this is really important and significant. And when I got put onto this game, darling, it was like game changer. Okay. It was game changer for me. Because another benefit of going into business is business credit, right? So let's talk about business credit. So business credit is significant because you're going to have expenses that come up for your business, and you want to be in position to get extended credit so that you can grow and scale, right? You want to be able to get a loan if you need to get a loan. You want to be able to get line of credit on a credit card if that's what you need. You want to be able to use other people's money. OPM, other people's money. Write OPM in the comments. Write OPM in the comments right now. You want to always use other people's money to help you build your project, to help you build out your business, all that jazz. Other people's money. And the way for you to position yourself to use other people's money is through business credit. The same way the banks are lending out the money that you have deposited in your savings account, in your checking account, they're using that money and lending it out to other people, right? They're using that money and lending it out to other people. And that's how you need to think about your business. You want to be one of those people that money's being lent to, right? And leverage that credit. So business credit, it's complicated, so I'm going to keep it at a high level, right? And for those of you who want a deeper dive, the Dare to Leap Academy got all that for you, okay? So at a high level, when I first started my business, I went and I got an American Express card that had 0 APR attached to it. So I didn't have to pay for the first year. There was no APR. There was no fees essentially for it. There also was no yearly fee for that card. So it's a good card to start with because I knew I wanted to build up business credit, right? I wanted to start building up my rapport. And when you first start in your business, your personal credit score is what's used to extend you credit through your business, right? So I had a good personal credit score. So it was easy for me to secure business credit cards, okay? So the first one I got was the blue American Express card. And the blue had a whole bunch of benefits. And this is why it's so important for you to be strategic and intentional. Comment strategic and intentional in the comments. It's important for you to be strategic and intentional with everything that you're doing and every dollar that you are spending in your business so that you are setting yourself up for success, right? Which means that you are understanding the benefits that come with each type of business credit card that you would go out and secure. So this blue American Express card would allow me to have, again, no annual fee, so I don't have to worry about that. It also allowed me to, yes, Sarah, I see you. Let's go. Raquel, I see you. It allowed me to have no interest payments for the first year, which is cool because, like, hello, who wants to pay interest? And it also gave me like 2-time points on pretty much everything that I charge to that card. I get 2 points for. And those points accumulate to give me other benefits like pay for my flights, like pay for my office equipment, like get gift cards, like whatever I'm trying to use those points for. In fact, I just used a whole bunch of Amex points to attend the conference that I'm going to the end of this month. Completely paid with my Amex points. Completely paid. So it's basically free, right? Because it's completely paid by those points. And at the same token, I'm also building my business credit, which is huge, right? So that was the first card that I started with. And then after I got that card and I got the hang of things and I had consistent business expenses, I graduated to the business gold. Now the gold is a little fancier card. It's thicker. There is an annual fee, but you get more benefits associated with your gold card, right? So again, understanding those benefits are key. Then after I locked down the gold card, I thought I was really fancy, and I was like, you know what? I'm a platinum girl. Shoot, I need that platinum card. So then I got myself the platinum card, which also has a crazy ass fee. It's like $700. But again, business write-off, right? I'm trying to spend money. I'm trying to spend money so that I don't give it to Uncle Sam, right? I'd rather spend the money and pour it back into my business to help me make more money instead of giving it to Uncle Sam. You guys follow? Okay. So then I got the platinum card, and then the platinum card has its own set of benefits, right? I get travel deals. I get access to the Amex lounges. I get access to, I think it's like 1,200 lounges around the globe. I get access to certain deals at luxury hotels. I get room upgrades, all the things, right? But I had to gradually make my way up to the platinum. You don't get the platinum. That's not your first card, okay? That's not your first card, right? You're going to build with something that has no fee first. And then you're going to start learning about the credit game. And you're going to continue to educate yourself, and then graduate, right? And I think I've had the platinum card now for a year and a half. And so far it's paid off. So far that $700 fee paid off. I hope they don't raise it no more, because that's steep already. Like, we don't need to raise that fee, okay? But it paid off. And this is what I mean about you being intentional and strategic about every dollar that you spend, right? I knew that by paying that $700 fee, I was going to get these other benefits that were going to pay for it. So let's take even a deeper dive into this, y'all. Like, it's cool to get access to the lounges, but what is really the strategy behind getting access to those lounges? Let's think about that. Those lounges are full of people with money, okay? Because just not anybody is paying for a $700 credit card, and just not anybody can get that card, right? So you are already placing yourself in a room with people who are making money, right? You're already putting yourself in a different environment, in a different network, by getting access to those lounges, okay? Which, if you're looking for clients, and remember, we go after 5- and 6-figure corporate clients over here. That's what we do. We go after government agency money. That's what we do. That's one of the key differentiators of the Dare to Lead program, and why it's different than any other business coaching program on the market, right? Is because we show you how to secure those type of contracts at the same All right, I'm back. I hope, let me know if you can hear me. Write a number 1 if you can still hear me, because sometimes when a call comes in, it cuts it out, which is annoying. But as I was saying, it's one of the key differentiators of our program, right? So we're going after that big money, 5-, 6-figure corporate money, right? And you need to go where they hang out. And you know where those people hang out that could write those type of checks? They're in the Centurion Lounge, all right? They're in the bougie ass lounges. They're in first class, right? That's where they at. So that's where you want to be, right? You want to go where the money's at, because you want to go collect the money, right? So again, being intentional, being strategic about every dollar that you are spending in your business. Okay, so I should have put on, you know what I should have did? I should have put on Do Not Disturb. That's my bad, y'all. I should have put on Do Not Disturb, darling, because they is disturbing me on a number of levels, okay? But I want to answer some questions. So if you guys have questions, let's start writing them in so I can answer them for you. I always like to save some time for that. So let's answer some questions. Let's answer some questions. Put your questions in the comment section so I can answer them. Somebody asked the question is, can you get taxed on money that you are collecting through Cash App or Zelle? Yes. I don't know if you guys saw all that back and forth with Biden. I think it's if you get paid over $600. I think that the apps are required to submit that to the IRS. Same thing with any investing accounts that you have, any dividends that you're collecting, right? They are reporting that to the IRS. So even if you try to be slick and try to do things through Cash App or Zelle because you think like, oh, I'm not going to get taxed on this, it's a lie. Just go legit, y'all. Because let me tell you something, you don't want beef with the IRS. You don't want that smoke. You don't want that smoke. Sarah says, is the training for all kinds of businesses? Yes, it is. Is for any these business fundamentals that I'm sharing with you is applicable to every type of business. Every single type of business. Mindset applicable to every single type of business. Going after corporate and government contracts applicable to every type of business. Because regardless if you have a business where you sell pens, well, guess what? Corporate needs their employees to use pens. So they should buy the pens from you, right? Versus Staples, right? Let's say you're a coach or a consultant and they need a trainer to come in. They should hire you, right? Versus somebody else. So it doesn't matter what type of business that you're in. Premier Ergonomics says, is it important that I set up legal documents to secure any coaching or membership I offer? What type of legal documents are you talking about? If you are collecting money on a consistent basis and this is your business, you do need to formalize your business. You need to formalize your business so that you can take advantage of the tax benefit of the fee that you're paying to host your membership, right? The fee that you're paying to, I don't know, any systems that you are using to walk your clients through a particular coaching program. You want to be able to write that off. You shouldn't be taking on that expense. I have a prime example for you guys. One of my girlfriends, she's a baker, right? And she is popping. She is so good. She's been running this business for a long time. And for a long time, it was a cash business. And I would tell her, I'd be like, sis, why haven't you formalized your business? Like, you should be writing off your cake mixture, all the money that you're spending on spoons, all the money that you're spending on decorations, the electricity that you're using to bake your stuff. Like, all of that stuff is write-off for you that she was taking on the chin because her business wasn't official, right? And she was just collecting cash, right? So again, you formalize your business to take advantage of the benefits that come with having a real businesses. Most importantly, the tax benefits that come with having a real business, right? So you don't want to run this cash only business without taking advantage of the expenses that come with your business that you are able to write off and not take on personally. All right. So I hope that answers your question in terms of legal documents. Like, I'm always a fan of making things official tissue because I want you to go after the big money. I don't want you collecting crumbs. I want you to secure the cake. And in order for you to secure the cake, you have to have a formalized business because it brings you a level of credibility. And not only that, it allows you to collect large payments. You need to be able to collect large payments, okay? If you're trying to get paid 5-6 figures consistently, you got to be able to collect those payments. And people, corporate, government agencies, even your one-on-one clients are not going to be comfortable sending you a cash app for $5,000. Right? It seems like you're not official tissue, right? It devalues your credibility. And you don't want that. Because we out here, we making strides, right? We out here, we making strides. We out here, we changing lives. We out here, we providing real value out here. People are paying us top dollar and at a premium because we provide real value. And you need to make sure that you're positioning and structuring your business as such. Because it would be really unfortunate, again, for you to come across someone that wants to pay you big money. And when they say, okay, where do I wire this? And you don't have a business account at a bank. That's another thing that I should have wrote as part of business fundamentals. You need to make sure you got a business account at the bank, y'all. Your money for your business should be completely separate from your personal account. You should not be commingling funds. Completely separate funds for what's coming in your business and what's coming to you personally. All right? So it would be really unfortunate if someone wants to pay you and they're like, where do I send this money? And it's your personal name and it's not your business account. Because a sophisticated consumer, and let me tell you something, consumers are becoming more and more sophisticated by the second. Think about you and how you're making purchases and how sophisticated and how grown you have become as a consumer, especially over the last 4 years, right? Especially over the last 4 years. Consumers are more sophisticated. They have more options now. And so you want to make sure that you're the only option. And having your business formalized, having your business account set up, having your systems in place for you to collect 5 and 6 figures on a consistent basis is paramount, right? It's paramount for you. All right. Any other questions before I go, y'all? Because I just did a whole mini masterclass with y'all. I hope this was helpful to you guys. I hope this was helpful to you guys. And by the way, I welcome all badges. I welcome all badges. That's like the collection plate that goes around during church. I welcome all of that. If your heart feels called for you to do that. But yeah, I'm really excited that I came on live today because I was thinking about it earlier and I was like, you know what? A lot of these people out here running like phony businesses. Like they're not even real. They're not even real. You do not have a real business if your business is not formalized. You have a hobby, right? You have a hobby. It is not a real business. And that's the reality. And if you are really thinking about going after 6 figures, even going after 7 figures, if that is your goal, you need to make sure that you have an official tissue business structure. And you need to make sure that you have an understanding of business fundamentals. And if you know that this is a gap for you and you are struggling, I encourage you to watch this training that I have pinned here. It's also via the link in my bio under free trainings. Watch it. It's about 15 minutes. After you watch it, book the magic call so we can see if you're a fit for the Dare to Leap Academy. And we can go over some strategy during that call as well. All right? Like, tap in. Like, don't avoid that voice. Don't avoid that gut feeling. Don't avoid that yearning that is telling you that you are meant for more, that you are destined for more, because you can do this. You're smart. You can do this. What you need is to understand the structure and the formula that's going to help you get there, right? That's going to help you go from point A to B to C all the way through Z. And that's what we do inside the Dare to Leap Academy. It literally is a one-stop shop for any woman who is interested in starting a business, unsure where to start, has only one source of income, and does not want to lose their financial security, okay? And for any woman who is new to business and is struggling with scaling, right? It has all my intellectual property. It literally has my entire framework and roadmap of how I was able to leave corporate over 15 years ago and grow successful, high-earning, 6-figure businesses over the last 7 years. It literally is my cheat sheet in there, my whole plan, everything. It is what I wish I had 7 years ago when I first decided I wanted to pursue entrepreneurship. I wish I had the Dare to Leap Academy back then. And it is called Dare to Leap specifically because in order for you to make this your reality, you need to dare to leap. You need to dare to make a decision, right? You need to dare to invest in yourself. You need to dare to do the work. You need to dare to stay committed. You need to dare to level up. You need to dare to evolve. You have to be courageous and brave enough to do this shit because it's here for you, for the taking. You just got to go out and get it. All right, y'all. So thank you so much for being here. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I look forward to you watching the training, booking your calls. Besitos. Until next time.